All right, y'all. Let's get to the dessert of it all. When it comes down to what's gonna happen next, I think Sonny and either Marcus gonna end up together, or it's gonna be Sonny and Sean. I don't think that Diva and Sean gonna end up together. I don't. I think that he gonna end up with Sonny because I think that he gonna tell Diva that he's interested in Sonny, and Sonny didn't do anything wrong, and she didn't. But him and Sonny just have way more in common than him and Diva do. I think when it's all said and done, I think Ralphie and Diva gonna realize they're meant to be together. I really do. I do like Lacaris with what's her name? I can never say her name. Well, y'all know what I'm talking about. She's actually a tattoo artist in real life, but I like them together. I think it's cute. D, just go back to Tamara, because Tamara is your person. She's always been your person. I think this situation too is going to bring these two back together, and I think this time they're going to stay together. And this time, if they get back together, can we please keep them together? Can we keep some of these people together that really deserve to be together at this point, Wayne? Because there are people we don't want to break up. We don't. We like them together. We think they're cute. We like Lawrence and Erica, but what y'all do? You broke them up. What'd you do with Tamara and D? You broke them up. Like I said, I don't be understanding why y'all got to create problems for every single person in these skits. Now, as for Rolanda, we need somebody that's very grown, very mature, somebody that got gray hair. We need somebody that's drop dead. Ain't got to be gorgeous, but a man that has gray hair. We need somebody like Tina Knowles' ex-husband, Richard Lawson. We need somebody like that for Rolanda. Now, as for Natasha and Kendrick, they're going to get it in one more time, and she going to realize that her and Charles shouldn't be together. But I think before she get ready to tell Charles about it, I think Dawn and him going to end up sleeping together. So let me say why I'm going to get on Natasha, Dawn, and their situation. Because there's a lot of y'all, millions of people that have been in Natasha's shoes, where your parents always say you got to take care of your sibling. It's family. We family. Family takes care of family. No, family leeches off other people. It's always that one child that ends up becoming successful that everybody wants to leech off of. And then the minute they say no, oh, but we're family. And then they take your silence as an excuse to sit up there and do what they do. So now we're seeing where Zoe gets her behavior from as far as her entitlement from her mama. At the end of the day, like I said, Natasha needed to put her foot down. Because she can't always be the one giving. And Dawn ain't doing nothing but sucking the life out of her like a godforsaken vampire. And I'm glad she went off on her. Because that's how a lot of people are. They get sick and tired. Or what happens is your parents do their will and they'll say, I'm going to give everything to your sibling or siblings and leave you with nothing because you got yourself together. Oh, you don't need nothing. You got yourself together. And then you like, wait a minute, say what now? Or you the one that paid for the house and paid off your parents' house and they going to give it to your sibling. Say what now? After I paid for it. They're not expecting the other sibling to do nothing. It's always you. It's always you, the one doing something. You're always the sibling that's always reliable. You're always the one that everybody can take advantage of. You're always the one that wants to help. In other words, Captain Save-A-Hoe. You always want to save somebody who happens to be a hoe, who happens to be a whore. You always want to be a Build-A-Bear and Build-A-Doll. Build somebody while you lowering yourself. You're allowing people to do whatever it is they want to, and it's okay for them to do it. And that's Natasha. And I am so glad that they went down this road, because this is something that I'm be helping a lot of people with when it comes to their family. There's nothing wrong with giving back to your family. Nothing wrong with it. But when it becomes a every month situation where you're paying their bills, paying for their weddings, paying for their houses, paying for all of this stuff, and you don't get nothing back, especially them parents that didn't support you, that didn't pay your way through college, that didn't invest in nothing that you did. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Will I do that? Nope. I ain't doing it. Ain't no way. So, like I said, I just think it's important that people understand that what Natasha did today is what a lot of people do. They cut off their parents, they cut off their family, they cut off everybody. They are tired of being leeches. And then when you add up all the money that you given and you look back on it, you're going to be pissed. Some people have given people $500,000 as far as their family, friends, and exes. Over $500,000 that right now could be in your pocket right now. The money you could have started a business. The money you could have used to go traveling. It's just like people in relationships that waste people's time. That have them in these long-term relationships, get them pregnant, and then bounce. And now you stuck with a baby. So now your life has been cut short. So even though your life wasn't cut short by death, your life is cut short because now you got a baby to take care of. Now all the money that you could have had to basically have a cushion, you now got nothing. I've seen housewives that have sat up here and never worked a day in their life and cannot get a job because they never worked a day in their life. Can't even get a job. I had a friend of mine that, she was married. Her husband took care of everything till he got hurt. He got hurt on the job. They're still together now. But she had to go back to work. And it was hard for her to get a job because she hadn't worked in like 10 years. It was hard for her to get a job. And what she went to school for. She actually went to school. And it was hard for her to get a job. And a lot of people ends up having to happen. They got to end up starting their own business because they can't get a job. There are a lot of people that's not going to be able to retire. They're going to have to get a job. They're going to have to end up owning their own business. Because they're not going to have nothing to leave their kids. And that's the crazy part. You work, but the only thing you got is SSI. And once that's gone, that's it. So you got to build something for yourself. Something that you can pass down to your kids and make your kids understand that, yeah, you can still own your own business, still do whatever, but you need to keep that business and make sure it runs properly. Even if you get somebody else to run it, you still need to make sure that you have a nest egg, And that's what you need. So the fact that Natasha is cutting her off, finally, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah. She said it's going to be the last time I take you anywhere. She was determined to get that loan. I knew that this had nothing to do with Rolanda and who she slept with. I knew this had everything to do with the fact that Natasha is cutting off Dawn. She's distancing herself from Dawn because she sees that Dawn is a leech. And then what happened with her daughter. So, absolutely. This had nothing to do with Rolanda. This had everything to do with not only what you did with her fiance, but what your daughter did with her ex. That was even worse. Your daughter did the same thing you did. And you think she wants something to do with either one of y'all. But you know what's crazy? I would love to see a scene where Natasha and Dawn's mom comes and she go to her mom or go to her dad and them trying to convince Natasha to help Dawn out, and Dawn and Natasha like, absolutely not. I would love to see something like that because it happens quite often. It happens more than y'all think it do. When you cut your sibling off, now your parents coming to you. Why you don't want to help your sister? Why are you not doing it? Why are you not doing it? You the parent? Why am I doing it? Why am I helping her when she ain't never done nothing for me a day in my life? Why am I doing that for her? Or him? Now, let's go both ways. I just have to be a female. But yeah, when it comes to brothers, they go through the same thing. But it's always, every time you have something, somebody else wants something you have. And that's not the way God told you to do that. No. I'm gonna go into that in a second. I'll be right back.